Call the meeting to order. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko?
Here.
Geary?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Shire?
Here.
Mayor Bedat?
Here. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I have none.
Okay, I have one from the council who thinks since we have a special meeting, we should do the pledge. So if that's okay, we'll do the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councils, appreciate it. All right, we will open the floor for public comment. If you have comment for council, please come to the podium, state your name, and you do have a 3-minute time limit. We also will have 2 public hearings tonight available for comment.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Doug Reynolds, and the reason I'm here, I have a conflict kind of with the city about an alley being plowed and cleaned. And they go down a dead-end street, Heenan Street, they back up the semi all the way to Freck, or the plow all the way to Freck Street. My alley never gets plowed. I had to pay $20 to get the alley plowed and then $20 for my drive. And I've done this a few times. I've been having this problem for probably 3 years now, and Dave knows it. I've been here, and he comes up with these answers about vacating, and if you vacate it, then I can't get out of the alley from my drive. My garage is in the back, the doors face the south. I don't have a drive in the front. And I come in and explain to Dave, why don't the truck, when he's backing up on the dead end, take a quick right, push it 100 feet, because that's how far the alley is for me to get out of the drive, because you guys vacated the other lot, piece of the alley to me going east and west. Well, he come up with the thing saying the poles are in the middle of the alley, which it isn't. He said my garage and shed's in the alley, which it isn't. I talked to Patty. Patty says I own that alley, that's my alley. Dave says the same thing, and it's not true. And I explained to Dave, he told me that they plow the streets first and then do the alleys. I said, listen, they're right there, they're backing up, take a quick right. Why are you gonna spend time sending somebody back a day later to do it? More fuel, more time, when it only takes 10 seconds to take a right, push it back out, and they can drive out the right way instead of backing out down the street to Freck Street. I mean, I've been through this for almost 3 years now, and Dave kind of helps and works with me, you know, but this needs to be done when they're backing out so they don't forget, because it's just like 100 foot of the city alley, because that is still the city's property. And like I told Patty when I talked to her last week, I'll do it, but if I get hurt, I'm gonna sue you. It needs to be done, you know, right when they're there. Why are you gonna send somebody back and pay the time and gas money while they're already there? It'll only take 10 seconds, less fuel, you know, less pay, you know, that, you know, you guys would save in the long run by hitting it right there instead of forgetting it. I mean, my health is bad, you know, in a boot and everything, and I like to have a clean access. That alley, it snowed Sunday or Saturday last week until Sunday, and it was done. I had 3.5 foot drifts all the way through the alley. I couldn't get out. I had a doctor's appointment Monday. I had to call somebody to come and plow it. You know, I shouldn't have to do that.
That's your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, where exactly is the alley? It's off of Freck Street?
It's off of Heenan going south, and then you take a right,
Heenan going south?
and then you take a right
Okay.
down the alley. That's, I don't have a drive in the front. My drive's in the back, and garage, and doors.
Okay.
And it's still the city property. Thank you.
You can, if you look at the county's GIS system, you'll see an aerial that photograph with an overlay of the property lines and what he's referring to was some of the comments I made. It's a 15-foot wide alley, so it's a smaller alley than what is typical. And it appears as if you look at the GIS lines, that there's part of this alley, this gravel, is actually on another person's property. And I suggested to him after the snow melts, we go out there and identify the property pins so we know exactly where this alley is, because it could be that what he thinks is the right of way is not really the
Or
right
what we
of way.
think, we don't, what's the
Right, we have to
No.
establish that. And the other issue is, there's a 20-foot wide alley running north and south perpendicular to Heenan. And when we vacated to Mr. Reynolds, the western half of this 15-foot alley that runs east and west, it limited the turning radius heading into this 20-foot wide. So we have a larger issue out there. We have fairly narrow, in the case of the 15-foot alley, fairly narrow, and it may not be actually placed properly what's out there. And then we also have the issue of this other 20-foot alley that has now limited access to because of the way that the 2017 or 15 or whatever vacation was of the western part of the alley. So there's some larger issues out there that I think we're gonna need to look at. Now, in terms of plowing alleys are not the priority during a snow event. Public Works will go out a couple of days after. They did go out, after Mr. Reynolds came into City Hall to talk to me, they did go out Monday morning to plow it, but he had already had someone out there plowing it. So, yeah, we're not meeting his expectations, but there's some other issues out there.
We can look, I mean, I have the same.
Can I comment to his comment? After I had my alley plowed, they pushed Heenan Street, the big clumps, 3 foot high, about 4 foot wide in front of where I had it plowed. This was after I had it plowed. They pushed it when it snowed on Monday. So I had them come and do it. And speaking about the north and south fence line, Davy Mills and Chuck behind me split that 20-foot alley. They each took 10 foot of it. Chuck's fence is right in the center of that 10-foot alley. So you talk to Chuck about that
It's
because
still showing as an alley on the
Okay.
GIS.
right. So you might want to get that straight with the neighbors
Right.
so they can pay their taxes on that.
Right.
Because I pay taxes on the alley that you gave me. But the issue is, when I clean it, you push snow back in it, and you're right there. Why are you gonna send a guy another 4 miles back a couple days later and more gas and more time while they're there and only take 10 seconds to push the alley?
No, I know,
And-
I'm on an alley, I don't have access from the front,
Right,
and I'm
right.
the mayor, and I'm
Come and
usually the
see
last
it.
one to get plowed
Right.
out.
'Cause I know where
So-
the property markers
That's how,
are.
just kinda,
And he's not jiving with the property markers. Right where my pole is, on the edge of my property, by my garage, is a property marker right there where the neighbor's property's been surveyed. So it's right there. I measured from there to Chuck's house. He's got 3 or 4 foot of his property, and then the rest is alley from that stake on my side. Come check it out, Dave. You never leave the office.
all right, any other public comment? Then I will go to action items. Item 1 is a public hearing for the real estate exchange agreement between Jesus Mendoza and the city of Streator. And get a motion and second.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Reed with the motion, Mr. Shire with the second. That was pretty close. Mr. Collin.
Need a roll or?
Yeah, we need to roll.
Oh, yes, sorry. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire. Mayor Beebeck.
Aye.
Thank you. So Mayor Council, this one goes back several years. I think it goes back to about 2017. The city entered into an agreement with Mr. Mendoza when we were looking to annex Spring Lake Park.
So there's a piece of property that the city, about 10 acres, I believe, yeah, about 10 acres on the west side of the river. So it was riverbank property that came up for sale. At the time, city council elected to purchase the property. I think that was like in 2015. So the city acquired this 10 acres, inaccessible, no road, nothing to it. It's riverbank property down by the river on the west side. This annexation agreement came up to where Mr. Mendoza, in exchange for annexing his property, the city was going to do this land swap, which is what's being voted on tonight, where he would purchase the property. So he's going to be issuing a check for, I think, $3,500 an acre. Is that right, or 37? Yeah. So it's in the agreement. I apologize, but he's going to be purchasing about 8 acres of the 10. So the city's going to retain 2 acres right at the mouth of, there's a creek that comes out to the river right there. And that 2 acres also abuts the old railroad right of way that runs along the ComEd lines over to Spring Lake Park. So the whole point of all this jockeying around and annexation was the city would be able to build a bridge from the Greenway Trail on the east side of the river over the Vermilion River, land it on the 2 acres we're gonna retain, and then he's giving us easement in this agreement on the old railroad right of way. So the city will be able to build a trail on the railroad right of way right to Spring Lake Park. So it would connect the Greenway Trail to Spring Lake. Again, this was something voted on by the council. There's been a lot of starts and stalls in the last few years to get it to you guys, but Mr. Mendoza is willing to he still wants to purchase the property. It has no use to the city. It's 10 acres of inaccessible land down by the river. So we did, even back then, we did have it looked at for logging, just to look at it, and there was no trees of any value that we could go in there and maybe make a couple bucks on it. So that wasn't even a possibility. So, yeah, any questions? I'm happy to answer.
This is, so 7 years, it looks like 2018,
Yeah.
so 7 years ago. So we're just cleaning up loose ends.
And Mr.
Is
Mendoza.
this related to the water line and all of
No,
that?
that was another, also in the annexation agreement, is the city was running water to Spring Lake Park. And so we also extended it a little further, so that he could service the house that he owns on the property. So everything in the agreement's been lived up to except this last piece. And at no fault, I'll say, of Mr. Mendoza's, he's been asking since 2018 to close. So we're finally to the point where we bring it to you guys and move it ahead. But I will say no plans to build that bridge currently, but it retains the option for perpetuity that if we ever are able to get a grant fund or something to build a bridge over the Vermilion, we'll have somewhere to take it to and then get to Spring Lake Park.
Okay, that was my question. I came in and talked to Dave before the meeting. So this is just dealing with the land swap,
Yes.
making it possible in the future. We're not
Yeah.
voting to extend the Greenway Trail, anything like that.
This will give us the easement that we never cleaned up, so I said, yeah, but he's willing to give us the easement.
It's a commitment we made 7 years ago.
The previous council committed to do all this, and it just never
I'm
got
the
brought,
only one.
finalized to you.
What's
I
that?
said I'm the only one left from that.
Okay.
Blame the mayor.
Blame me. I get it, everybody blames me. Any other questions? So,
Thank you.
anyone for public comment? Or council? On this one. Going once, going twice. Okay, hearing no further comments, I'll request a motion and second to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Geary and Mr. Danko. And do we need to call roll again? All right, clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko. Aye. Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Pete.
Aye. So item 2 is ordinance 2025-46, an ordinance approving a real estate exchange with Jesus Mendoza for the city of Streator, Illinois. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Danko with the motion, Mr. Geary with the second. And this is just voting on what we discussed on item 1. Any comments or further questions? Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko. Aye. Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Pete.
Aye. Item 3, we'll have a public hearing for the purpose of considering the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2026, City of Streator. I request a motion and second to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Reed with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Beeline.
Aye. Okay, are there any comments from public or from council or staff?
Well, the total budget is $28,979,941, but that includes the internal transfers that we make between the funds. The general fund itself is $13,428,216, represents an increase of $274,131 over the last year. No changes in staffing, so we're not adding or subtracting any staff. In terms of capital projects, we're funding the Logan's Oasis, a couple of pickup trucks, a new vehicle for the community service officer, as well as our city engineering department. We did have to remove from our budget, simply because we didn't have the funds, any improvements to the Neither building. There was a request to fund the deputy fire chief position. Simply didn't have the resources to fund that, nor did we have money to fund the improvements over at the fire training building. We did include in the budget, within the TIF portion of the budget, the South Industrial Park, South Industrial TIF Fund, which is mainly funded by the Bagger project, and that fund is doing fairly well. Pickleball courts for Mariner Park, as well as a new generator for City Hall. Those are TIF training, and as ruled that those would be eligible expenses. So if you decide to do it, it's in the budget. We did attempt to get a grant to fund the pickleball courts, but we were not successful last year. There's an opportunity to try to land another grant. We can try to pursue that, but there is demand to build the pickleball court. A lot of planning efforts went into it both at the park board and the city council level. Really nothing remarkable in our sewer fund or sanitary or solid waste funds. Last year we had a round of increases in our garbage fees, but this budget just encompasses that, as well as our new garbage contract costs. So, any questions?
Questions from council?
We've talked about it enough, I think.
Then, any comments from the public before I close the public hearing? Okay, hearing none, I will request a motion and second to close.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Danko with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Beeline.
Aye. Item 4, ordinance 2025-47, an ordinance adopting and approving a budget for January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026 for the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties, Illinois. I get a motion and second.
Second.
I think Gary and Reed on that one. Okay, any discussion? Again, item 4 is voting on the item 3 public hearing. Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Beeline.
Aye. Items 5 will be an ordinance for the, item 5, an ordinance for the levy of an assessment of taxes on real property for all purposes for defraying expenses for all corporate purposes for the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois, for the fiscal year commencing January 1, 2026, and ending December 31st, 2026. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Right. Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Geary with the second. Any discussion?
Any questions? This was a 4.99% increase. It includes the ask of the library as well as the 2 pension boards. It also includes about $62,000 for the purchase of a public works pickup truck.
I would like to note that I've been watching the paper the last week or so, and there have been a lot of public notices about the tax levies of all the different taxing bodies in the area, and we are definitely the lowest one at 4.99. I can't remember off the top of my head, somebody was over 9%, somebody was 7.9, so kudos to the administration and the council for being able to keep it reasonable.
No one likes
4.99.
us. We don't enjoy increasing it, but we try to do as little as possible and fund what we need to. So.
And the pension state of the lion's share of the increases.
That's what it is. Okay, any further comment or question? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary. Aye. Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Now, items 6 through 11 are going to be very similar. This is an annual item that we do up to abate different taxes for bonds. So I'm going to be going through these pretty quickly, but they're basically going to be the same thing. So we'll go into item 6, ordinance 2025-49, an ordinance abating the tax levy or the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal of an interest on 3.2 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2015 of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. Can I get a motion and second, please?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire with the motion, Mr. Danko with the second.
So a general obligation bond is a commitment by the city to levy whatever property taxes are necessary to repay the bond over time. So every year when we go out to get a bond, there's a schedule and there's a guaranteed amount that we're gonna pay. Now, at the time that these bonds were issued, City Council set aside alternative revenues, largely sales taxes or TIF revenues, to make those debt service payments. So unless the council abates the property tax levy, the levy that you just adopted will actually be larger, because a prior council actually levied taxes to ensure the repayment of those debt service payments for the upcoming year. So every year, we go and do a series of ordinances to abate taxes for each individual bond, and there are 6 of them for you to do tonight. Did I explain it right?
I think so. Everybody understand?
You must have, I could follow it. I can follow it, and you must have explained it well.
Okay, any comments or questions before we proceed? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Ordinance 2025-50, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal of an interest on $2.34 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2016B of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. Get a motion and second.
Second.
Mr. Geary and Mr. Danko with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary. Aye. Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Item 8, ordinance 2025-51, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal of and interest on 1.485 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017A of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. We get a motion and second.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Geary with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary. Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Ordinance 2025-52, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay principal of and interest on 1.325 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017B of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. A motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire and Mr. Reed. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Item 10, ordinance 2025-53, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal of and interest on 585,000 general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017C of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. Motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Geary with the second. Any discussion? And clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Item 11, ordinance 2025-54, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal of and interest on 2.5 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2019 of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. Motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shire with the motion and Mr. Dinka with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko.
Aye.
Geary.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Shire.
Aye.
Mayor Vidal.
Aye. Just say Mr. Shire got 5 out of the 6. He was pretty fast on the trigger on those.
Just when you think of that.
You get paid by the motion, right?
You're right. Why, that was what Bruce Hart told me when I joined council, is that you get paid by the motion.
God bless.
My first day up here. All right, item 12 is resolution 2025-47, a resolution authorizing and approving a professional services agreement with Sickage LLP for the preparation of annual audit reports for the fiscal years ending 2025, 2026, and 2027 for the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties. I get a motion and second, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Geary and Mr. Reed with the second. Go to discussion.
Well, the auditing firm that we use is Sickage. It's a national company, but they have offices in Naperville. I think they're based out of Naperville, but I could be mistaken. And they performed our audit since 2017. They've done a fairly good job for us over the years. We did have some issues during the COVID period with the delay in getting the audits done. We also had issues some years back with the library. Some of the bookkeeping wasn't up to par. And that's on us to resolve. We were able to resolve it by working with the library board and having our financial consultant also support the library. But I would recommend that we enter into a 3-year contract. 5 years is a pretty long period of time to commit to if we do encounter performance issues, because what would end up happening is we would never be able to declare a breach of contract because they would simply claim that it's an audit of our financial statement, so there's something that we're not doing that would create a performance issue at their end. So it's a trust issue between the city and the firm, but they have really worked well with staff over the last couple of audits, and I think our recommendation, Julie can speak for herself, but would be not to go out and try to train a new auditing firm to come in and look at it. Everything seems to be doing going pretty well. And so, and the proposals are in line with what we would expect for an organization our size. So I'm recommending a 3-year contract at the numbers provided in my memo.
Any questions? So this
No,
is another.
I like the 3-year option the best.
And we get a little bit of savings, but I don't think it's really meaningful enough over that time horizon.
No. This is one of those items we're mandated to do and we should do because we want to keep ourselves from becoming a Dixon, and we want to make sure that everything's up to par with our finances, so.
Yeah, Streator has enough eyes on our financials, I don't think we would ever run that risk. So, yeah, we're good.
Okay. If there's no further comment, then I will request the clerk to call the roll, please.
Danko?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Shire?
Aye.
Mayor Peters?
Aye. Item 13, Resolution 2025-48, authorizing the purchase of a used John Deere 1025R tractor and new 47-inch snow blower from Heritage Tractor, Streator, Illinois, for the City of Streator Public Works Department. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Geary and Mr. Dinko with the second.
Well, the
Discussion.
Public Works snow blower that is used for our sidewalks in our parks and pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere.
It had a catastrophic failure, can't be repaired, so Jeff can speak to the piece of equipment that they're recommending that we purchase.
So the existing snow blower that we had was on one of our older 2005 era John Deere mowers. The snow blower broke apart in it that cost $4,000 to repair. Snow blower that costs $6,500 to replace, but it doesn't make any sense to replace a snow blower on an obsolete mower because new mowers don't have the same mounting hardware. So we went out and we found a small compact utility tractor that only has 10 hours on it. It already has a cab with heat on it, which would be a requirement for what we're doing. This is for mainly the sidewalks across the bridges, down Main Street, Bridge Street, around City Park, because every time we get snow, everybody wants to still be able to go up to the park and walk their laps. And generally, because of the nature of snow removal and the limited crew we have, snow blowing usually comes a day or 2 or 3 after a major snow event. So the snow's hard, crusted up, and snow blower is really the only way to get it off the sidewalks. So yeah, we found this tractor, and they would sell a brand new snow blower on it for total cost of $25,800. Comparable brand new machine would be probably $35,000 of similar size. That's about it.
Any comments or questions? I'll request the clerk to call the roll, please.
Danko?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Shire?
Aye.
Mayor Peters?
Aye. Item 14, mayoral appointments. I get a motion and second to approve the following reappointment to Vermilion Valley Emergency Communications Joint Authority. This will be Robert Wood, and reappointed for a 3-year term through January 1, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'll go. I think Dave.
That's an
Reed-
exciting one. We all want them.
Yeah, we all want Woody to go to meetings. All right. So I'll go Mr. Reed and Mr. Curie with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Shire?
Aye.
Mayor Peters?
Aye. Item 15, consent agenda, is a funding request from the Police Pension Board for fiscal year 2026. I get a motion and second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire and Mr. Danko with the second. And we had already funded this at the 100% level, so we'll just more of putting this, placing on file. So, if there's no discussion, I'll have Patty call the roll, please.
Danko?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Shire?
Aye.
Mayor Peters.
Aye. Any discussion items? I do not have a lot with these, but item 1 was short-term rentals. So we'll see when we get, I just don't want us to lose sight of it.
No, we won't lose sight.
So that one, so that one's coming. Lift assist,
We should have that, I don't think we'll have it ready for next week, but we'll have it for the January. And there has to be a certain number of times before we've got to work, before you can collect.
is
So
it 6?
I think that's 6 is what I recall off the top of my head.
All right, so we'll look at that for January.
Yes.
And then item 3, the America 250. Last meeting, we talked about sending something to the time capsule. It's due by the end of the month. If anyone has an idea,
End of this month?
end of this month.
Okay.
Pictures, Mr. Shire.
I had a couple of thoughts going on inside my head. I gotta reach out to someone about it still. It's slipped my mind. I'm sorry about that, Madam
Your
Mayor.
face, you're looking at me, I thought, no, I'll just, not to pick on you too much, but.
Always got something going on here.
Alright. Oh,
I
we
just
can
still-
talk, we have a
Should
couple
we-
ideas.
Contact you about that?
Yes, please. I do know there's, I think Field Pottery was gonna send a mug, so maybe we can put our items together with that and
Yeah.
send it down.
We have a lot of things in storage at the Streator Historical Society Museum that would be appropriate.
Ed Brozak,
Put that in the time capsule.
right on it.
We can write a letter about it and put that in.
Yeah, a write-up.
And letters, lapel pins, and other items. There was a state fair, Illinois State Fair had a day where it was Ed Brozak Day, and there's buttons around that say, "I'm with Ed."
No, that's
Yeah,
great.
maybe we can get one of those and
I
send it.
remember that.
Yeah.
I've still got, speaking of America 250, I've still got some ideas and thoughts that's in my mind about, I had mentioned a couple of months back about like a StoryCorps or like a Voices of Streator or something like that. And it's still something I'm processing and thinking about from time to time. So I just wanted to throw it out there,
What,
just in case everyone
yeah,
else,
sit down and go through.
just in case everyone else blew it off already, wanted to bring it back up.
I was contacted by the Illinois State Historical Society about getting a historical marker in front of the grave site of George Poundstone. He's buried about 2 miles north of Grand Ridge on the west side of the road across from the Grand Ridge Cemetery. He's the one that carried the flag that we have hanging at the library. He was the color sergeant for the 53rd Illinois. And since I'm the one who raised the money to get the flag restored and brought back to LaSalle County, they reached out to me. They'd like to have a historical marker put at his gravesite during this year. So the Historical Society is committed to taking on that project as our 250th
I like it.
project, so. You'll all be getting a letter asking for a donation, because there's a big price tag to that.
EJ has tickets for it.
I will have to get EJ on my committee. So we are gonna be doing something.
Good, no, and I know we're, it's been on the back burner, but we've still kind of looked at what we can do with the canteen memorial, and where some of those bricks are just crumbling through time, so something on the radar as well. We'll go to city official comments.
I think we were just there.
Well, that was America 250. Anything else?
Fair enough.
Well, I'd like to say I'm sorry that we got a snowstorm on Light Up Day, but I would like to congratulate the Light Up Streator Committee for the excellent job. Especially Dan, he represented us well. And I'd also like to bring up about the electric vehicles. We had brief discussion
January.
about that. I'd like to make sure we get that done and over with, so by spring, we have something. I was gonna ask the attorney if she could get together some different ordinances from around, but I got an email, somebody already did it.
I think the
Gentleman
golf
named
carts, yeah.
Scott Campbell,
Right.
or no, Scott Carpenter. Scott Carpenter, he compiled them all and sent it in an email, so I'd like to ask the, what's that?
Or that,
Sure, I'll forward that to you, but I'd like the council
And
to
there's-
look
yeah,
at it, to
there's-
look at what other communities do. If there's anything on there you like or you dislike, we can compile our own based on what other people do.
and
Don't need to reinvent the wheel.
no, and I think it goes to e-bikes, e-scooters, and then golf carts.
Golf carts.
Because I've been getting a lot of people asking about golf carts lately. Like, oh,
Yeah, all of a sudden that's become a hot
yes.
issue. No motorized, electric or gas engines, electric only.
Will that include that
Talking.
unicycle too? That one?
I know.
Just
I have
one
no
permit,
idea.
Just for you.
That's something.
I don't have one, but I mean, we do see a number of them riding around here.
I know, I saw one
I
going
know what
up
you mean,
North
yeah.
Bloomington Street, and I thought,
know
he
what
had
you
to be
mean.
going 30 miles an
Yes.
hour on that thing, and I thought, that can't be good. It's not gonna end up well for somebody someday.
No, it's not.
But yeah, something we have to discuss, if we wanna put that in, or make sure it gets excluded.
Mhm.
Kudos to the Public Works Department for keeping those streets open and all the other departments for being patient.
And kudos to the police department with the sentencing of the Easter murderer.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
big kudos to the department. I know we got some flack in the spring about some of the issues we had, but both sentencing from the 2023 on Hickory Street and then the Easter Sunday were good to see, and I think our citizens appreciate that, and thank you for all the work you've done both on getting all the evidence and all the hours put in. I know it's a lot, so we appreciate it.
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. I just will bring up, the Marion Main event is this weekend. So if you miss Small Business Saturday due to the snow, that will be Friday and Saturday. I do have a letter, and I think we can put it on the consent agenda for our next meeting. Legends Sports Bar would like to have an employee Christmas gathering at the restaurant on Christmas Eve. Doors would be locked and no sale of alcohol, but it would be for the employees. So I think they did that last year, yeah, and the year before, so if no issues, I'll put it on the consent agenda just to approve, but as long as they're not selling past 6 PM, I don't see an issue, so. Like that. So executive session, request a motion and second to adjourn to closed session for the purposes of discussion of legal matters under 5 ILCS 120/211 and 12 of the Illinois compiled statutes to discuss collective bargaining.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Shire, Mr. Dinko with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Danko? Aye. Gary?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Shire?
Aye.
Mayor Vita?
Aye.